Hello again, this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for you guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video 124E. Just want to continue with the inventory. I think we got one more video to go. I'm going to make it short today, not too crazy. Just to refresh, we're talking about the dashboard, which happens to be, well, I'll show you in a second when we log right in. As a matter of fact, let's go. We put in the password, the username, and then we put in the password. Remember, I told before because I messed up by changing the name of the actual input name, which happens to be, let's see what we got here. Let's see, which happens to be, or was it? Was it here? Oh, right here. See, what happened was somehow I kind of took this out and I just left it as token. So when it went to check, right here, when it went to check, I couldn't find it. That's why it gave me those errors. Which is, where is it? Like right here. So that's why I didn't get anything, or it was just a blank, page, I think it was. But anyway, I make sure I fixed it, and now it works. When I wanted to, let me see. First, let's go here. Remember, we put the username. We put the. Remember, I mentioned also that you can view your source code, and this is the CSRF. This is the token, and it gets created by doing the hex to bin, or the to, where is it? The bin to hex right here, because you also got the hex to bin to change it back. The bin to hex right here, you see the 32, puts it into the session. Remember, to create this session, you got to make sure you got this started, don't forget. And then this information, you can get it from your hosting company, okay? The hosting, the database that you created, the root, which will be the username and password for you to get into that database. You have to replace that there, okay? And that's what that is. So enough for that one. Okay, we come here, we go to the index, we send the password. Remember, we showed you we can send the honeypot in there. So, and then right here is the session that we just created, right, from the configuration file. This is how you read it, and this is what you're looking at right here. All right, so we're here. We're gonna send, and boom, we logged in. Now I added milk. Let's move this over a little bit so you can see the buttons. Okay. Remember, the search works. I wanted to explain. Let me see. We went through this process, which we just came. We make sure that the token worked out. If it didn't work out, you will get this information: token validation failed. If there was a problem with the bot, you will get this message. I already explained that before. Like, in other words, if you had this bot, where is it? And it's blank. See how it's blank over here? Which is cool. Leave it like that. Plus, you can't see it because you got none. That's why you don't see it over here. In the other page, the one that the login form, you don't see it there because it's actually there, but it's just invisible. Okay. So then what happens is, once you go into your authorization, it checks. Now, for bots, normally what they do is they go in and they say, oh, look, empty space, an empty input form. That's the things that give you these little boxes so you can put stuff in it. That's what that is. That's the input form. They input the element from HTML. And if in the value, if there's nothing there, they look at it and they send something in it. They'll put anything in there, advertising, anything. They'll do it, and whatever it takes. So when you do submit, it goes straight out. Get it? It goes straight into it, and then the database, it depends on how you write it, will look at it, put it in the database, and then you screwed. Or it does something else, you're still screwed. Okay? That's why you go check. If it's not empty, boom, kill it. Give you a message. That's what this does. Die is the same thing as exit. You know, like this command. It's the same thing, but it also gives you a message, which is why you see here bot detected, access denied, and that's it. If everything worked out, of course, this is the first part of the curly brace, and this is the last part. Else meaning something is wrong. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to put anything there. You can put anything else. I just did it like that. It was for me to check out. You're never gonna go there unless something goes wrong. You get a glitch or something. Who knows, right? Because I told you I had experienced a lot with hits and glitches. And you look at this. Wait a minute. I have a command that would make sure. No, it says somehow it skipped over that command. Trust me, it happens. People won't know. A lot of people don't know too much about that, but I know. I got a lot of experience on that. Alright, so now it comes down this way. Over here, this token. Oh, I put this so I can make sure this protocol is just this. It returns the name and the revision of the information protocol. That's what that is. So when you do header, it gives you that information and then says 404 header. That's all. If for some reason the token got mixed up, okay? Then it'll give you a message. See this header right here? This header. Excuse me. This header will jump through here and do this, and then you have to just kill it, and then it'll give you this message. All right, that's what that is. So we already saw all this stuff, and I also mentioned the porn, right? You put porn stuff in there or anything that looks like this, you can make this grow, and it'll give you a submission contains prohibited content. We already saw that. So right now in this situation, what we're doing is we're going like this. We're going, okay, we search the username and password database. Remember that? The user and users, right? Search it, and I did it like this. Remember everything, you should trim everything before you go into the database. Before you go check the database, I trim the stuff. This trim will do both. You know, you got an R trim, you got an L trim, but this trims both sides. Because sometimes when you enter information in a form, stuff gets in there. An extra space, something like that. Anyway, so it creates it creates a query string, right? Which is a select step. It's not doing anything. This is not doing anything until we get over here. Then you do the prepare statement. Remember, it's important to create a prepare statement. That's the secure way of doing things. I could have did this with the question mark. I just want to do it this way, okay? Because you could do both ways. The reason why, so a lot of times when I write stuff, I'll give you one way, and then I'll do it on the same script. I'll add something else that goes another way, but it still does the same thing. And in this case, it reads it, right? It fetches all that information. Remember, anything you read, remember anything that you put in through the form that gets into an array. Then this database reads the information with just that one. It was just that one guy, and it said fetch, or you can just set the fetch. But I like this one because I want to do this in case there was multiple people with that same, which will be unlikely, but you never know. And then for each of the user, which happens to be this is all the stuff that you fetch. You're gonna say as shorter name, which is so easy. As you can see, it's a shorter name. In this situation, you notice how we didn't get that over here because it went so quick. It checked it out and then it did this real fast. Okay, if I took this out, like just close this, not do anything, you will see welcome back, and probably you will see all this crap over here. This was just for me. You don't need it for when you do it. When you get a chance, right? All you have to do is kind of get rid of all this like that. Matter of fact, just like that. You can just get rid of it. Let me save it. That's all it is. Well, before I get rid of that, let me go back for a second, make sure there's nothing there that I did. Alright, good. Just get rid of it. Perfect. Alright, so it does this, goes that, and it gives you this. If something went wrong, invalid logging, you're going to get your form back. This one says dashboard, which it worked out fine for you, and this is the dashboard. Now we go to the dashboard. Remember the dashboard, you do the config file. The reason we do that is because it's making sure that I get that information that I need. By the way, this user ID thing right here, session, is right now this dashboard is going to check. If it's not equal to that, it's going to do the search, select this, select that, blah, 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 and close it up. I mean, sorry, if it's not equal to that, then you're going to get a location, exit out of there, and then of course it'll just give you the index. Doesn't go nowhere. Although you can set it up so that way right here you can put in a query string with errors. So that way when you go right back to the index form, which is right here, on the very top here, you can check to see if there was some kind of error, or I think I showed you how to do that several videos way back. Alright, so now you're in the dashboard. It does this. Now this part right here is not doing anything. Always doing is fetching this information. Look, select all from there with the item like or that. It just sits there, it's doing nothing right now, right? In case you, where is it? Right here. You put this information. See, right now you got one form here. This is a form. This is a form. But info there, but it is a form, and it's a it's not a form. It's just these guys. These guys create the forms too. So when you say edit, you get a little box, and that will be a form. All right. So then what happens? You go, you get on the index file, blah blah blah. And this is what this is, right? Right here, item. Then of course you got your input boxes, which is these guys for this information, and then you're gonna hit this guy. Remember before we had the actual, what is that called? The catch up, the recatch. We're not gonna do it there because you know why? I completely forgot what it is, and I did write it down somewhere. I'm gonna find it. I can search, really. I can go back to Google and get it. This is a hassle, man. So I took it out. On the very end, when I'm completely done with everything of this, then I'll put it back in there, and hopefully it'll be the right ones. Because if it's not right, let's say like you read, what happens is you go to Google and then you put that information within the actual form here. And what happens is Google will read it, compare it, and say, oh, it is equal to that. That's why you're going to get this information. This is JavaScript, right? I know it's not a JavaScript situation, but it says action. It gives you the update. If it's an update, this is for these guys. All right, and it's here too, by the way. Edit, and within the remember I told you that you can have the unclick. You say edit item. This is what this is, and this is the function. It doesn't do anything until you do something here, right? So then within that function, right, you're sending in something that you're getting from PHP, and you want to check to see that the JSON encoded item, the item is encoded, and we're going to explain more. I didn't want to do this JavaScript thing because it's not a JavaScript thing, but I wanted to give you everything. So all you have to do when I complete this whole thing that I have, right now the delete does not work. This works. We just need to add extra, what you would call it, items that you want to edit, because right now I'm just editing. What is that I'm editing? I'm only editing the quantity. I'm sorry. But if you wanted to, let's say, I want to edit the pricing too, you can do it too. And that will go straight to the database. See this right here? This is reading the database. This is what's in the database. This is the database. It's reading the database and you're just printing it out, which happens to be, where is it? Right here. So it's reading the stuff, right? Remember the items and stuff like that. And that's what that is. It reads it, and it already read all that stuff because I opened up the database here, right? I got in, I connected, and now it's there. You don't see it because PHP stuff, you don't see it when you do the source code then. You know, when you check for the source code like this, where is it? Let's go here. So you can see it better. Like right here, you don't see PHP stuff at all. You don't see it. Let's get rid of that. Oh, look, I got the catcher and all that. It's good to have those things so you can see what's going on. Anyway, and as you can see, I do have the JavaScript catch-up thing that you get from Google. And I don't think I took out the, yeah, I did take out all the other stuff. All right, let's see. So we got this one. Let's check this out real quick. I'm going to go slowly so you can see. Because I want to test this out real fast. I want to search it. I want to add and edit. The delete one, I haven't gotten to it yet. It's a simple thing, really. It's the same idea of doing these things. Look right here. Same idea of doing this whole thing right here. Same idea. You use this for your delete stuff, you know. But you're going to use the word delete and the actual SQL command that goes with it. All right. So then you call. Where is it? Let's see. We're here. I guess we were here. Where were we? We're in the dashboard. Okay. All right. Now you're going to say, okay. So let's start. Let's do a test. Let's do a test of it. This is all HTML. Here's your form. It calls action. Did I call action yet? Where's the action? Right here. Let's go here. This is, by the way, the file manager, the C from the C panel. The C panel. One day I'll give you a whole thing about that, so you can see what the C panel gives you. It is important that you learn it. Just trust me. That's how they go. You could go, I don't know, what is that? The host linger or finger. You got your GoDaddy, Hero, Aim Hero, which is this. What's the other ones? These are all the ones that all use C panels. And it's great. You know, in the beginning when it started, it was, C panel, I gotta learn that now. You know what I mean? Because I was dealing with doing stuff in a company, and I didn't have to deal with certain things because they had certain things, and I just had to do the programming part. Because you're doing it in a team, right? You got a designer, but it's good that when you go for a job that you going, like if you were to go for a designer position, you gotta know a lot of stuff about Adobe Photoshop, how to do the maps, how to do mock-ups, how to do all these things. Plus, you gotta learn all about the UI, UX, and plus, it's great that you know some programming. You have to go crazy, but some programming. Programmer who knows a lot about programming, and he knows all about the UX and the UI and the HTML, the CSS, and all that stuff that you see, makes you a more valuable guy, unless you're old, like me. They want to retire you. Anyway, so we're here. We check, what was it? This is your active. They should move this guy over here. You don't see it. All right, so basically you're here, right? This is your dashboard. It's gonna, this is the information that you're getting, right? See this stuff right here that says placeholder, item name, SKU, quantity that represents, and price. I mean, not price, yeah, price right here. That's what you see inside here. See? That's what you see inside here. It's just a placeholder. Same thing over here. Now, you're here, right? And see, this is the catch I was talking about. Remember the little catch up that, I mean, I could leave it. Let me see. So you could see it. Like that. See? It's not going to be checking because I don't have... come on. Why does it take... I don't know. And if I went like this, I wonder if it'll... Yeah. Remember that little box? See? We catch up, but now it has to compare the, you know, that with the, you know, whatever. It's not here. It's under action. You have to compare, and then when you see it, if it works out good, it'll look much nicer. It'll have just like this little box, and all you have to do is click on that box. And it kind of tells you my credential. Right now, it's not knowing it because I can't remember the numbers. The whole big digit number they give you. So I just decided, let's just get rid of it for now. That's why I did this. This is an HTML. This is how you comment out stuff. Oops. And of course in Java, even JavaScript uses the slashes. All the slash with the asterisk stuff, then the closing asterisk and slash, kind of like this, right? And anything that's in between this is actually a comment, or you can just use the two L's, two forward slash at that. That tells you that that stuff is comment. Well, you always see that. I don't even have to explain no more. Let's save this. All right. Let's go like this. Let's look for this. Let's say milk. Let's look for milk. Let's do this part right here before we do this part, and then we'll do this part. Let's go to milk, and I'm looking for it right now. Let's say you got the reason why it's only 3, but let's say you had like 50, 100, 1,000, and it's gonna pagination, right? You're gonna get like little arrows to go to the next one, to the next one, to the next 3, something like this. I would say, let's say 10. The first one will be like 1 through 10, and then you do the arrow, right? And you click on that arrow, and it takes you to the next 10 and the next 10. But let's say you don't want to go through all that to look for something that you want. Well, this is what the search is. So what you do is you put this information. You go like, I'm gonna take it out of here because I don't, you know. In reality, it'll be down there. Let's say you don't have to do this. You don't have to use this for the first 10. It's just because you're looking at it, right? So let's say, but you don't know where it is. You go like this. Then you say search. Boom. Look, it searched it for you. It went through the database and searched your stuff, and then it printed it out here. And then, let's say I wanted to change this. I don't want 12. I think I'm gonna just have 8. So you click on this guy, and you get a box. Now, right now it's just 1, but we can make it that we could use, you know, change the pricing. This stuff will always be the same. It should never change unless you made a mistake. Then you will put it in as part of your thing. Well, let's say you did 10. Let's say, see, 10. Click on it. Look, 10. It changed it to 10. You're gonna get the whole thing, by the way. So if you wanted to check it out again, you just say, let me see, and it'll pop up 10. Right? That's what that good. So we already saw how that changes. So we already know how you search. You already know how you change. And by doing that, you go to, where's the action? You go here. This checks for, of course, token. This is your get, because when you send the thing over, it's the get. It searches for the action, right? It says that's gonna create. You're not gonna see it right now, but see this search right here. does all this search. So where is it? I'm gonna put it over here. Oh my god. I don't know what the hell is going on with my sorry guys. I just want to apologize to YouTube. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to do a video on Monday and a video on Friday, but because I've gotten sick, and I'm talking about sick like a cold. I mean, I'm talking about, you know, bad stuff. So I didn't want to, you know, it was hard for me. So, but I'm going to create them. Not only that, I have to create stuff, test them out, and I know before I used to do a lot of it, but because I've gotten sick and kind of behind, so I have to, when I create, like right now, this one will be for Monday, and then I know I got 3 days to create. I'm gonna give you the delete one, and that will be for Friday. So then we'll start because it'll be done. Basically, this is it. What I wanted to create. Now the question is, what do we do with it? I mean, we got this. We also could create a way of like creating reports and stuff. But because I wanted it, the reason why this was created because I'm making an app out of it. And it's going to be on the phone. It's going to look something like this. And I just wanted to share it because that's what I do. I share stuff. Anyway, so we're here, right? We do the action. We hit the eggs. We came here. There it goes. This is the when I did this guy, right? And read it. It came down here. Look, the action was update. I wonder if this shows it. How about if I go like this? You should see it. Oh no, it did not. It was too quick. It was too quick. That's okay. So it looks at the action. Hold on. Yeah, not because it was. Hold up. Let me look at it real quick right here. This one is going to be, where is the form? Posts. Oh my god, I'm so sorry guys. I hate to complain like that. It's a form. You notice I don't have anything like method? No, because it knows it's going to be using this stuff here. That's already built in. Let's see. Where is the other one? And these guys will do the click, and of course it'll run this here. See the action right here? Because it goes to update. You don't see it right away because JavaScript is kind of doing it for you. It does that little window that you saw. You don't see it because if you had the whatchamacallit, I don't know what happened there. But that's the first one. That's right, that's the first one. That's 200. Do I want that much? Or do I want? Maybe I could have 50. What do you say? There you go, 50. And using the Ajax technique too. Okay, so that's what happens, right? You get the token, you check to see everything works out. If it looks like it's great, right? It does the right, which is action. Where is it? Action is here. See how it checks for tokens, and that's what the action does. See, get. When you add stuff to it, like it's not a post, but more like you said. Where is it? Right here. Like when you're adding stuff like this, action, question mark, and you have a name equals to whatever it is. This is the variable. And this is the actual value. They're just sending over. They kind of write. It comes here, and then what happens is your PHP, that page, will read that and give you whatever it is that you're doing, right? Whatever it is that you want. So we're here in. So it did this. It looked at it. Okay. And this is how you, how about we do some little spacing here? Because I don't want people to get confused. I mean, There you go. That's a better deal, right, guys? See what happens is it goes update, and you say find item, set the quantity to this. If you wanted to add like set other ones, you would say like this, and I don't know, price like that, and then you go like this. This is how you add other stuff, so you can get the box with all the other stuff, and this ID will come from this. See this right now, this is the get at. I mean, what is it? This quality, that's okay. It does that, and then the execution will take that. Now see, in the this is just the one way to do it. I don't know if you've seen it when I use question marks, right, like this, and they said, well, okay, where's your bind value? Well, we're not. This is kind of acting like a bind value, right? So it says, oh, if this is the get, it's the quantity, and this is the get of the ID, and this is what. Let's take this out for a second so we don't get confused. But if, let's say if you did do this, you will have to add like this. Get. On the last one, when I'm completely done, it'll have those extra stuff. Do you put here like price, like that? See? And what happens is it'll execute all this. It'll give you whatever the price is, whatever you put in, whatever that little box pops up. This little, where is it? Little box. Let's go here. See this little box? You will have another one which says price right on here. And what happens is it looks at that and it goes, okay. And you're going to update that information from that box. And you're going to say, oh, you're going to get this, right? Because you're going to get it. See, a lot of times when I do the bid value, the bind value, I'm going to show you in a second what it looks like. So, right here, look. Like for instance, I could have done this technique, do the execute command and put all that information in there and left it like that. See, I could have done that. I could also use this technique, which happened. Let's get this out because I'm not doing anything with that. Okay, so when you look at this way, the way I'm doing it, right? I did the trim, right? Because I read what's in these boxes. Let me get this out of the way. I read what's in these boxes, which is what this is. I trimmed it up. I assigned it to these variables. You notice I don't have this information in here, because when you're going to insert something in the database, you got to make sure that everything is in order, like this. The order, the same order as you have in the database, like from top to bottom, top down. Yeah, it has to be in this order, and then this will be the value. And you say, well, that doesn't look like no value. This is the placeholder. This is the same thing as me using the question marks, but we're doing it this way. And then, but then how you connect this? So now you do the prepare statement. The prepare statement takes your query string, which is the insert SQL command, right? And then says, okay, let's execute. Let's prepare this. It does. It prepares it. Then you say, okay, but before we execute this, which is what this is, you got to put something in between that. So I say, well, yes, let's execute this, but we can't put this information in there in the database. So this becomes the placeholder, which is the same thing as what we did here, except that this is done differently. If it would have been like a lot like this, I would have to kind of make this grow, and keep adding commas. What is it? Description, comma, SKU, comma. You would have done all this stuff like this, right? With the get command, you kind of will be like up to here, and it looks kind of weird. If it's like one or two, you can kind of do it like this. But if you got a whole bunch of stuff, do it like this. You prepare your insert, you put it into a query string. This is a variable, doesn't do anything, it's just you putting this information in it. Then you prepare that, because you're using the object to prepare, and the method prepare. You put the query string right in here, which is what that is. Then you're going to bind it. You're going to say, okay, see this says, what is this, double colon they call it? That's what they call it, double colon. Item name, description. You're going to put it in the same order. Doesn't matter really the order, but for you, for your mind, put it in the same order. Because the only time that you really have to be in the order where the database is when you're doing it up here. Okay? Now, you create a bind value. And now you're saying, look, and then you have to put it in quotes, by the way. So it's like double quote item, comma, and this name here, dollar item underscore name. It's a variable which you created before from the information that you got from the form. And you trimmed it, by the way, too, to get it ready so you don't have no garbage. And then you go down the line. And it's good to keep it in all the same, this type of order, you know what I mean? For your thing. But because I'm not asking for those other things, you have to put that you need to change that. So that's why I kind of did that. Because before I was doing it, right? I said, but you should be able to do, excuse me, just the one I want. But you kind of have to, in this situation for me, it would not work. And we just were not doing it. It wasn't copying it into the because I added more fields. Remember in the database, in the, what was it, the last two video I was, or maybe it was last video, that we needed, what was it, the last two video was, we were creating the database. Oh yeah, we created the form, the foreign keys, those kind of things. So anyway, we needed to do all this, and I just added that separately. That means that all of them, anyone that you create here, like you add to it, it's going to have all this information. You don't really have to, because, and I mean, it depends on what it is, right? What's the category? What's the category of white liquid? I don't know. I just didn't know what to say other than, let me see, honey, grain, bread, milk products, right? So it would be product, right? It would be produce, right? With the milk, vegetables and fruits for the bread will be another number, right? Remember the database that we could do that in the next one. Do the delete, I'll open up the database so I can show you as a refresher so you can see what I'm talking about. Right now we're just doing this right here because I didn't want to add more, let it go off the screen, you know what I mean? Basically, we can have another line here and then have this. I don't know, it depends on how you want to create them. Anyway, so I added this, and the unit price, remember, was $15. Because you're going to be using that for, what was it, in case we run out, that kind of thing. And then that's it basically. So I added these guys in, right, which is what this is. These are the things, the whole thing. And I could have just said, I don't know, this would be a better way for me. If I had to do it this way, which is cool for one or two things, you know, maybe three. But if you want to do a whole lot of stuff to it, like, you know, update a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, you know, just do it like this. So you do this, your placeholder, which is what that is, right? Right here, placeholder. And this is your variable that has information. All this variable has information because you know it, because you have it over here. And then now you have it set up, ready to go, and then you say execute. And what happens is, the database is going to insert this information, item, description, category, all this stuff, with the values you see here. And the reason why, well, so many steps, why can't we just do what was the where is it? Who has it? Dashboard has it. Okay, let's see. See, this is another way too. See, I put it in execute. Another way of doing it. Where is it? I thought I had it here. Who has the? Oh, it's the. Who has it? I completely forgot. Who has the? Wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, okay. Like right here. It's all the same thing. It's all above here. Oh, it's not. Where is it? I guess that's the way. Well, I guess that was nothing. Anyway, so you do it like this. You go like this. You do it like this. You do the execution, and guess what? Once you do the execution down and up it, look, it calls up the dashboard. And the dashboard comes right back real fast because it happens fast, right? It happens fast. And then you get everything. So if I change that, you already saw that's it. So how about we add something, right? Which is what this is. This is the, by the way, this delete. Even though I did have it set up here. Let's see. I want to talk about this because I want to be sure that this will work for me. And I probably will, but let's see. But I want to do it on the next one because I want to look at. Oh yeah, I want to do. Yeah, we'll do it on the next one, on the next video. But right now, let's add this stuff, right? So we got this stuff. I don't know. Let's see. What is the one thing? I don't know. I don't know, man. How about we say orange juice? Orange juice. I think that's what happened here. Orange juice. I want to get. You know, you can hook it up to that. Clean this up. Is that how you spell juice, people? No. That's what you. Juice. Okay. And let's give it some kind of. This you will get from the packages when you do get your stuff. What would that be? We're gonna say ORJ like that for orange juice hyphen, and then we're gonna say let's give it. I don't know because normally I don't know what they say. I mean, let's say OJ, and then we'll say 001. Right, and then how many do you want? Now you can use this. Remember this? That's what gives you. Where's the dashboard at? Where are we? Right here. See? Numbers. When you say type numbers right here, that's what gives you these two things. And of course you tell it, right? You say, oh, this is quality, this is control, the price required, of course. And this one says step 0.1, which happens to be when you go like this, you see it, step 0.1, 2, 3. It just keeps adding to it. Or you can just say, how much is a carton of, I don't know, $15? You can tell I don't go to the stores. I don't do any of that stuff. I just, I don't know. I just don't go because I don't know what to do. Anyway, you go like this and you say, boom, look, orange juice was added. It went through the process. Where is it? Right here. I hit add item. I took this crap out. I went to the actions. Where's actions? What's this action? Action goes, looks at it, goes, oh, you want to create. That's what that is. Well, how you know that that's create? So if you go here, the submit is the create. What is it? Add items. Man, I forgot how I over here. It'll send it through. Where is it? JavaScript. Okay. This is that part. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Goes to create. So, is that a create? Yes, because remember I put it out on the. It goes fast. You see it right here. It does the thing real fast, creates it, checks to see if no everything. Oh, yeah, this is the thing. If you would have made this work, like if we had the numbers, there would have been some kind of like this, some numbers I put, and then replace it with the actual thing that we have. And if it equals to Google, Google reads this. Look, you go in, remember the file, get a contents, and you get all that information from the file. This is the actual file, I guess that would be. And then you get that information. You can try your own thing. That's what it would be, your own stuff. When you log into Google. And then JSON decodes that thing. Says, oh, response is true. That is true. It does work. It's there. And then it keeps going. But if it doesn't work, you get this, please complete the one you saw it before. Then I can't remember, but maybe towards the very end, if I can get this to work, you will understand. I had it working the last time because I remembered that I had it written down somewhere. Anyway, so we do here, we go like this. Where is it? Oh yeah, right here. Just insert into that database, to that table really, in that database, right? The database, you get it from here. This will be your database. This information, you'll be right here. Whatever, I called it this, but it's not what it is. Mine's called something else. And of course, your host will be whatever it is that you get from the hosting company. They'll give you this information, even the username and password. Because remember, when you create a database, you also have to create a username and password for you as an admin to do stuff to the database, right? To work on it, you have to have your own username and password. It can't be the same username and password for you to get into, but it's for you to do your stuff. Anyway, for your database, not other people's database. Okay, so now we're here. Where is it? Actions. You go like this, you bind it, sends it, boom, and this is what you get right here. Isn't that perfect? This works, and this works, and of course you could add more to it by making sure. Why is there so many? There's so much space. Why do that? Dashboard. Where is it? Right here. We could just add action, blah blah blah. Tokens, that's okay. The quantity, see what it says quantity. You will have to have the same idea. You're gonna write it down over here. I mean, this is what you do. You go like this, right? And then you put it next to each other, and then you say whatever it is, the new price or whatever, the new price, whatever you want to call it. And I will do that for you. It'll give you that thing. So towards the end, I'll have it ready so that way when we log in, because you know why, when we do, because this, I don't even know if this works right now. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. No. Let's just wait for the next one, because I also want to show you the database itself. Plus, what else I wanted to? Oh yeah, and I wanted to add those other fields. And maybe fix the index file. If we go, let's log out. Remember I showed you how to do this too. Let's log out. Right here, like it's kind of blank here. Maybe a little picture right here, so you guys can have something. I don't know. Maybe we can have that, or we can have another box thing here that will say, if you don't have an account, you can create one. And then when we're done, excuse me, when we're done, then I'm gonna show you how you create it. What do you do with all this? Because now things have to change a little bit. How you make it into an app on the phone. I'm not talking about just creating a button, an app button on your phone that points to this data, this website. It will have to be, so a few things need to change. So it will work on any phone, of course, and it will just be, like, in other words, if you did an app and you want to put it inside some depository place so people could pay you for it, it could be $5 for it, and all kind of things you could create. So I'm going to do that too. That was a little complicated, and how to get it done for your phone. I'm not talking about responsive design that works on the phone when you do call that. We're talking about making an app that you can get from a store, from the depository. Anyway, so we kind of reach real quick, man. So like over here when you put the username and password, I put this here because in the wrong one, you really want to have people to have the username, the email as the username, right? Because this makes it more secure, and of course your password, right? Because it's just fair, and then of course the what is it? The auth file. This is what to verify your username and password, and then of course you got your password verification against the hash. Remember I show you how to do the hash one too, how to create a hash and then put it in a database. Then you got the reCAPTCHA. That to make the reCAPTCHA live, like you have to replace and we talked about it already, your site key. I guess that's what I wanted to say. In your dashboard, with your actual key from Google, right? You can do that. And then of course the honeypot. That's like the HP field is hidden, like from the users via the CSS, but visible to bots. And if it's filled, the script dies. And that's about it. Basically, that's about it. All of this. So I'm going to put all of this in the description below when it's completely ready. Maybe I'll have it ready. I think I will in a few minutes. So that way you can have it. And I'll put it in the description. So that way you can have it. That's it. So I got it. Until next time, good night. Hey, before we do that, please give me a thumbs up. It kind of helps me out. And hopefully people think this is valuable. And I'll get better. I'll have something like a good editor and all these things to make it work, so it'll be more professional. But right now I'm doing it like if you're sitting right next to me and I'm teaching you. All right, that's it. A good night.